Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the nominee, I don't know when you last walked on the streets of Nairobi, but you know when there are goons on the streets who want to pickpocket you or something, I'll say it in Kiswahili, watakwambia, mwizi akiwa amekuiba, atakwambia, angalia ule mwizi ule, na yeye ndio mwizi. So I'm not putting it to you that you are anything like that. But you know, you have just talked about cartels. You were standing outside Afia House and said, the cartels are here. And you did nothing about them. Because you left that and the cartels are still there. Now I'm putting it to you. While you were the Minister for Health, there was a vaccine which was approved, Sputnik. And at that time, there were no vaccines in the country. People were dying, and it was a private firm which was approved by the Medical Association to import the Sputnik vaccine. But your ministry went ahead, while they had already administered those vaccines, some of it, and you canceled the vaccine should not be administered without thinking the investment which was put in by the investor who brought that, and it was a private investment. So how are we sure that once you go to the Ministry of Agriculture, you will not stop any new investor the way you did while you were at the Health Ministry? Secondly, when you're talking about cartels, I'm just talking about cartels for you, Kagwe. The Mira, His Excellency the President, when campaigning in the Kenya Kwanza, he promised the whole of Meru, Embu, and the Mount Kenya East that this government would take care of the Mira farmer and the markets and all that. Unfortunately, we have not gone too far. But are you...
Mr. Dawood's question on the issue of the Sputnik, I remember distinctly the issue of Sputnik vaccine that came from Russia. And I can tell you, Honorable Member, through the chair, that there was not a single vaccine that we allowed into Kenya that was not approved, and there was not a single vaccine that we refused to take that was approved. Now, the issue here is who approves it. And our rule within the National Emergency Response Committee on coronavirus, and following the advice that we also got, is that we did not use any vaccines that were not WHO, World Health Organization approved. And I'm aware that at the time that we had stored with Sputnik, the condition that we gave Sputnik is, and the Russian people even came to see us, not even the business people, is to say, please deal with the World Health Organization approval, and as soon as you have got those approvals, we have no problem using the vaccine. Because you can imagine what we'd have to deal with vaccines coming from very many different parts of the world. The only thing that we could do and guarantee the safety of our people was to use the World Health Organization as a major approval organization for us. And at that time,
Point of order, Chair. Yes. Chairman, sorry. The minister, the former Minister of Health is not telling us the truth. There is no way the vaccine could have come to Kenya if it was not approved. That is the first thing. They had an approval from the Kenya Medical Practitioners Board, and it was even administered. 230,000 doses were administered. But it was politics which made it to go out. It was a private venture. Yes, they had everything, but the minister is not telling us, the former minister is not telling us the truth.
Are you not telling us the truth? Yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Hold there. Yes, Junet.
Chairman, I agree with the Honorable Dawood. The vaccine arrived in Kenya with the approval of the government, and it was administered to many people, including the current president. And what happened when the current president, who was the deputy president, took it, is when that regime stopped it. Let us be honest to each other. Yeah, let's be honest.
Mr. Chairman.
Did you play politics with the health of Kenyans?
Mr. Chairman, I want to repeat that the only approvals that we recognize as the National Executive Committee on Coronavirus was approvals that came from the World Health Organization.
If that was the case, just hold there. How did the vaccine get into Kenya and have it administered on Kenyans before you chased it away? Yes, including our then Deputy President getting a jab of that vaccine.
Mr. Chairman, all I can say is that whether a vaccine has arrived in the country or not, no matter how it has arrived in the country or not, if it has not been approved by the World Health Organization, we cannot use it, and we did not use it. I think I rest my case.
So are you telling us that it had, by the time it arrived and it was administered to 230,000 people, it had not yet received approval from World Health Organization?
Absolutely not. And I think, Mr. Speaker, I do not recall the actual figures that it had been administered to. I cannot remember now what figure, but I don't think it was anywhere near, you know, the kind of figure that you had said. Suffice it to say, Mr. Chairman, that the decision that was made at the time by the National Emergency Response Committee and the Ministry of Health was that we will not, and we would not in the future, use any vaccine that had not been internationally approved by the World Health Organization.
And you are the chairman of that committee?
And I was the chairman.
Yes.
And I take responsibility. And we agreed, Mr. Chairman, we agreed, even at that point, as I remember, we agreed that if the vaccine could get World Health Organization approval, we would use it.
What Dawood has put to you is that you made an irrational decision based on political consideration.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman, I just want to ask him what Honorable Junet has said. The Deputy President at that time and the President right now, who has nominated you today, is the one who took that jab, is when you stopped the Sputnik. Is that true or not true?
Absolutely not true.
Point of order, Chair. Chair, when that, Chairman, when we were taking the vaccines,
yes,
there were many vaccines. There was AstraZeneca, there was this one and others.
Pfizer,
Johnson & Johnson. Chairman, we were in the country here. At that time, you know, people were really looking for vaccines to use.
Desperately.
The day the current president, who was then the deputy president, got a jab in the afternoon, in the evening, a press statement came out saying that thing is banned in our country. That's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter.
Mr. Chairman, I cannot recall the events as they followed, if indeed that is the way they followed. But I repeat my position. We could only use a vaccine approved by the World Health Organization.
Go on with the others. I'm sure you know.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, the issue of mitigating circumstances, I think that were raised by Mishi, the issue of what do we do when there are droughts and then there is flooding that happens. I'll come back to the others as well. You know, I agree with her that Honorable Chairman, that the issue of drought mitigation is critical, and it has been there a long time. We all know about Budalangi, and we know other areas in the coast, and season after season, the discussion is the same. And what I would like to commit myself to, Mr. Chairman,